Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech, and in this video I will be unboxing the Huawei P30 Lite. So guys, here's the box and it looks exactly same like the last year's Huawei P20 Lite with a completely white box with the name on the front and branding at the top obviously. So this is the box, and at the top we have the pricing and information stuff. At the bottom we have the IMEI numbers and so on. On the back it has some of the highlighting features like the triple camera setup, bigger battery and so on. And on the sides, once again, it simply says Huawei P30 Lite, both on the left and right side. Now, without any further delays, let's quickly unbox it. In India, this phone is sold exclusively online on Amazon.in. It's available only in one variant with 4GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. It's priced at 20,000 rupees, comes in two colors, Midnight Black and the Peacock Blue. And we have the Peacock Blue color with us right now. So guys, at the top itself we have the phone. I'll just put it aside for now. Next we have IMEI number stickers, followed by a cardboard box. Inside that we have a SIM card ejector, some documentation like a quick start guide and warranty card. Next we have a soft silicone pouch. I'm pretty sure all the previous Huawei phones also got it. So this is a soft silicone pouch, nothing new. We'll come back to it in a minute. Next we have an 18 watts power adapter, so this one supports fast charger and also comes with a fast charger inside the box. And finally we have a Type-C charging cable. So there you go, this is the Type-C charging cable. And to my surprise, it also comes with earphones inside the box, pretty old style ones. But I really want to appreciate them for at least giving something, but something better would have been really appreciated. Like these are pretty basic ones, they might sound slightly better, but something like earbuds would have been really appreciated. So these are all the contents of the box. There are no more surprises, and this was a bit of a surprise, but it was a disappointment as well. Anyway guys, now coming back to the phone, it comes in this plastic cover, which is once again surprising. Many brands don't do that. And now this is the phone on the back, displaying IMEI numbers, SAR values and SIM card information. Here's the SAR value if you're really interested. There we go. Now let's peel it off. So guys, this is how the phone looks on the back without any stickers whatsoever, and this is how it looks on the front. This is the Peacock Blue color, and it has this S kind of a curve going on and a two-tone gradient finish. Yes, it does look quite premium and definitely way better than the Huawei P20 Lite. So guys, now let me put on this case and see how good it will look or how good it is. So this is how the phone looks with the case on. It has all the required cutouts and it has a tiny raised lip even for the camera module. So even when you place your phone directly on its back, camera module is very well protected, and it also has a slightly raised lip for the display as well. So even if you place your phone on a flat surface with the case on, display is not in contact with the surface. So overall a pretty good case, for a free one anyway. Now this case can definitely give you some additional grip and protect your phone from all the smudges and fingerprints, but doesn't give you a lot when it comes to drop protection. So if you're someone who worries a lot about dropping your phone, get a better case as soon as possible. Now with that said, let's have a quick physical overview of this awesome looking phone and see what it all packs. By the way guys, it also comes with a free screen guard pre-applied, really appreciated, and I'm just gonna let it stay. Back to physical overview. On the back, this phone has a 3D curved glass with a two-tone finish with an S-line. And as I've just said, it looks stunning, and even in hand it feels pretty comfortable to hold because of the 3D curve on the back. Now with that said, at the top it has a triple camera setup with a 24 megapixel primary camera with f1.8 aperture. That's followed by an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera with f2.4 aperture. And at the end we have a 2 megapixel secondary camera for taking portrait shots with f2.4 aperture. That's followed by a single LED flash and an engraving that says triple camera. Beside that, it has a circular fingerprint scanner with a matte finish, and it also has a nice depth to it, which makes it much more easily to find. And finally, at the bottom it just says Huawei, along with some engraving that says Made in China. Now on the front, this phone sports a 6.15 inch TFT IPS display with the new dewdrop notch with Full HD Plus resolution and 90% screen to body ratio. Inside that dewdrop notch, it has a 32 megapixel front facing camera with f2.0 aperture. Above that, it has a pretty large earpiece. Below the display it's completely plain, but the chin is slightly bigger, at least considering the price. Now coming to the sides, on the right side you get the power and volume buttons made of metal. They have a nice clicky feel to them, but I wish they were slightly more elevated. At the top it has a secondary microphone for noise cancellation and a SIM card tray housing a nano SIM slot along with a hybrid SD card slot. So on this phone, you can either use two nano SIM cards or a nano SIM and an SD card. Now finally on the left side it is completely plain, and at the bottom you get the mono speaker, primary microphone, Type-C charging port and the 3.5mm audio jack. Now coming to the rest of the specifications, under the hood this phone sports a Kirin 710 processor with Mali G51MP4 GPU with 4GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. It will be running EMUI version 9.0 based on Android 9.0 Android Pie. It will be powered by a 3340 mAh battery, supports fast charging and also comes with a fast charger inside the box. Now with all this phone has a thickness of 7.4mm and weighs just 159 grams. Now just for some very quick initial impressions, phone feels pretty sleek in the hand. It's very comfortable to hold in a single hand, and weight distribution has also been done very well on this phone. So guys, now let me turn on the phone and see what we get right out of the box. Now this is the first boot and it simply says Huawei, powered by Android. So guys, this is how the phone looks once we turn it on. This is your default launcher, and as usual there is no app drawer, so all the apps are thrown to the home screen. But if you really want an app drawer, we can also get it without installing any third-party applications. I'll talk more about that later, but anyway, this is how the phone looks. Now I've just opened this app to show you exactly how big the display is and how small the bezels are. And even though it's not the best in the price segment because Honor 8X has insanely smaller bezels, this is also pretty good. Now with that said, let's check the storage information. So out of that 128GB of space, we get about 114GB of space for your user apps and user data. That's definitely more than sufficient, and you might never actually have to use a SD card on this phone. Now with that said, this is the about page. This phone is running EMUI version 9.0.1 based on Android version 9.0, that's Android Pie, with the latest February security patch. Now coming back to the cameras, which happens to be the most highlighting thing about this phone. Now this is the primary interface for the rear camera, and by default it's always on photo, and you can swipe over here to change between different modes. Now if you want to switch between the primary camera and the wide angle camera, you have a toggle over here, just click that and you can switch to wide angle camera, and this is the primary camera. As you can see, this wide angle camera is pretty wide with 120° field of view. That's pretty insane. Now like with other previous Honor phones, you also get a dedicated AI button which simply pops up the colors a lot. Now I'm going to take a picture with AI mode on, and now I'm going to turn it off and then take a picture. Now this picture is taken without AI mode and this picture is taken with AI mode, and as you can see, colors have more contrast when you take them with AI mode. I'll show you more pictures later, but for now let's check out the overall user interface. So we have a dedicated portrait mode as usual, and over here we have something interesting where we can change the shape of the background blur effect. So you can change it to something like hearts, stars or anything else. Once again, I will be showing you some sample shots later. Next, it also has 3D lighting effects where we can change the lighting effects while taking portrait shots. We have natural studio lighting effect and so on. Next, we have the regular beauty mode while taking portrait shots. Next, we have a dedicated night mode, and this at least should take better pictures in low lighting conditions. Next, we have AR lens, and coming to video recording, this phone can record video at a maximum of 1080p resolution at 60 fps. There is still no 4K, but 1080p at 60 fps is also pretty good. By the way guys, we can also record video with a wide angle camera to get a lot more details, and with the wide angle camera we can only record video in 1080p at 30 fps. Now one of the most unique features of Honor phones is aperture mode, and as you can see it's not available over here, so I thought it was completely removed, but we can still find it in the more section. Now using this aperture mode, we can actually change the amount of background blur effect we want before taking a picture, and even after taking a picture we can change the amount of background blur effect and the focus point from the gallery application. So this is the picture, and if you click over here you get additional options. From here you can change the focus point and the amount of blur effect. You can also apply filters, but that's something you can do later as well. Now let's test the front camera. So this is how the interface looks for the front camera. It looks exactly like the rear camera, and by default it went into the portrait mode. And just from initial impressions, front camera looks pretty reliable and pretty good. Now this is the regular mode, and you also get a dedicated button for AI mode, that's AI selfies. Once again, it might just make the colors look a bit more popped out. So let me just test that. So this is the regular picture and this is the AI picture, and obviously colors look once again slightly more saturated. Now going back to the portrait mode, once again we can change the background shapes to something like hearts and stars. Next, we also have 3D lighting effects for portrait selfies. These are the stickers. It looks pretty cool. Now coming to video recording, once again we can record video at 1080p resolution even using the front camera, and that too only at 30 fps. So guys, this is the camera interface and these are some sample pictures. So guys, now let's test the speaker loudness.
Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech, and in this video I'll be unboxing the Realme 3 Pro and sharing with you my initial impressions and a quick hands-on.
So guys, speaker on this phone is sufficiently loud for your ringtones, alarms and media consumption as well. By the way, speaker quality on this phone is pretty good, like noticeably better than other phones. Now with that said, the one thing I really hated about this phone, so far at least, is the haptic feedback. So whenever I type, it gives out a very bad haptic feedback and it also makes a bit of a noise. So I hope you can hear it. So that's literally the sound it makes every time you use the keyboard with haptic feedback on. So overall, the haptic feedback is pretty bad. Now let's test the fingerprint scanner. I've already set it up, so here we go. Fingerprint scanner is pretty fast. Like, it is able to read the fingerprint in a split second, but phone is taking probably like a half a second to unlock the phone. On the whole, it is fast, but not super fast or as fast as the other phones in the same price segment. Now let's test face unlock. I already set it up, so let's see if it works or not. And yes, it works and it is pretty fast. It is not super fast like the OnePlus phones or the Oppo Vivo phones. We can still see the lock screen for a split second, but it is still pretty fast and definitely usable. Now let's test it in low lighting conditions. So I've turned off the big lights and this is what the camera is looking at right now. Now let's see if it works. Even in low lighting conditions, it is pretty fast. Now I'll be turning off all the lights and see if it works or not. So guys, now I've turned off all the lights and this is literally what the front camera is looking at. That's, by the way, my face. Anyway, let's test it. Now the phone is locked and here goes face unlock. So it seems to be struggling in complete darkness. So I'll just come closer to the phone. So guys, in complete darkness, this phone is definitely struggling a lot. Like, it's literally not working in complete darkness. Now for some very quick tips, this phone also comes with the new gestures, just like MIUI. So to enable it, go to System and then select System Navigation. Now select Gestures. Now if you want a tutorial, you can also click over here and you'll get a quick list of tutorials, all the gestures. But here we go. You can swipe from the bottom to go home. You can swipe and hold for recent tabs. These are your recent tabs. And you can swipe from the right side or left side to go back. Now this animation used to be pretty ugly earlier, but they have really improved that. And now if you're using gestures, you might wonder how to trigger Google Assistant. For that, you can swipe from the left side corner or the right side corner to trigger Google Assistant.
Hi, I'm your assistant, here to help you throughout your day. Here are some things you can try saying to get started.
I really like these gestures and I wish all the phones offered this as well. Now earlier I talked about app drawer, so if you really want an app drawer, go to settings and select home screen and wallpaper, then select home screen style. From here you just need to enable this toggle and an app drawer will be visible. Now this is like a different launcher from Huawei itself, and here we go, this is your app drawer. But personally, if you really want an app drawer, I suggest you to install a third-party launcher like Nova Launcher or TSF Shell or whatever. Now before I conclude, these are the Antutu and Geekbench scores. So guys, this is the new Huawei P30 Lite. Just from the looks, it is definitely a huge improvement when compared to P20 Lite, and even in terms of overall performance, there seems to be a significant difference, like the entire UI felt much more smoother now. Now with that said, the most highlighting thing about this phone is definitely its display, overall form factor, the new design, and most importantly the triple camera setup with the ultra wide angle camera. Now the cameras on this phone definitely do look pretty good, but I still have to compare it with other phones in the same price segment to know exactly how good these cameras are. So guys, what do you think about this new Huawei P30 Lite? I know considering the price and the same Kirin 710 processor, it is a big letdown, but still, what do you think about this phone? Do you like it, hate it, or are you somewhere in between? Do let me know by commenting below this video, and if you are planning to buy this phone, use the link in the description, it always helps the channel. And if you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with the hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter and we will try to make it as soon as possible. I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech signing off. Have a nice day.